What's up, man? It's the Bronco at the Frog coming at you with another reaction video. Pokey Ditto. Been suggesting this for a long time, bro. It's time to learn. We got how the most boring part of football became the most important. It's time to get our tactical sense on, our tactical brains on. Football made simple. Go subscribe to them. Get them to 750,000 subscribers. Somebody in the comments said, this made me understand why defensive pivots and CBs had to be so good on the ball. It's time for Bronco to learn about some defensive pivots and CBs. Let's see what goes down.
Take a look at this table.
This table, every division, short goal kick leading. I've seen people on Twitter been complaining about Premier League style of play lately too. People been talking about so many set pieces and throw-ins just being a way that Premier League teams score. Like them Arsenal Gunner boys are the ones who kind of spurred it on. That's kind of the way Liverpool weaknesses is set pieces and throw-ins. Well, we seen the El Clasico over the past weekend, just straight ethical ball, as people been saying. But short goal kick leading to final third. Every division, Premier League with 24, La Liga with 26, Bundesliga with 23, while long goal kick leading to final third. 23, every division goes down a little bit. Premier League has a little bit more, like I was saying, with the set pieces and throw-ins. La Liga has gone down with long goal kicks, and then Bundesliga goes up to 27.
At the very highest level, where teams are obsessed with getting an 0.01% improvement, it's clear that the long goal kick is much more efficient at getting teams into the final third.
Yeah.
So why has the goal kick undergone such a radical evolution that means teams are doing less and less of this? The goal kick, football's most boring moment, has now become the most fascinating and most important tactical element of the game. And it didn't happen overnight. There were distinct phases to this, each with a how and a why they caused an evolution. And it all began with
do no harm, phase 1.
The year is 2004. The ball goes out of play and the entire stadium knows what's coming next. The keeper strolls to get the ball. Defenders turn away from their keeper entirely as 10 outfield players walk towards the halfway line to contest the aerial when the goalkeeper inevitably tries to hit the big man. And here's the thing. On the surface, this made complete sense. Many managers thought to themselves, well, if the ball is close to our goal, there's a higher chance of us conceding. And at the same time, if the ball's closer to the opponent's goal, there's a higher chance of us scoring. The long restart allowed
even Bronco understand it. Even Bronco know this. Like, come on now.
them to get the best of both worlds, moving away from their own goal and towards the opponent's goal as quickly as possible. But it almost always resulted in an aerial duel and trying to win
And a
second
turnover.
ball. Essentially a 50-50 restart, kind of like a jump ball,
Jump ball. Hey,
or a line out.
Hey, that's a W reference. It's damn near like a jump ball when you do one of them long goal kicks for sure.
Kind of like a jump ball in
I never thought of it like that.
Or a line out in rugby. And then came in the summer of 2008, a Spanish
Of course,
manager
Pep is at.
walked into
Of course, Pep is at the center of it. Of course, Pep Guardiola. Why am I not surprised?
Barcelona's training ground with an idea so simple it sounded stupid.
Yo pensaba, está loco. Pero como yo también estoy un poco loco, entonces me sentí identificado con él.
He
And
got
here's
some
the
thick
thing
ass
about that
eyebrows.
crazy idea. At times in his very early weeks at Barcelona, it seemed like Pep himself had reservations with this approach. Maybe it was too big a change too soon. Because what do we see here? Almost the unspeakable.
Facts.
No Barca players offering an option, and Valdez launching it long hopefully towards the midfielders and the forwards in the opponent half. And this wasn't a once-off either. In those early days, there was a strong mix between the old-school goal kick and this new approach. The revolution was an instant. It was tentative, almost nervous.
Hold on.
But Guardiola had picked up on something that data would later confirm. Going long was essentially turning a situation where a side
Hold
was
on, am I tripping? So back in the day, like the long goal kicks was basically all that they did every time it was a goal kick, or are they saying that's the new style form that they were trying to introduce? Damn, so back in the day, they ain't kick it short. Dude, niggas always did it far. Bro, that's crazy right there. I feel like if anybody, I feel like the Serie A would have been the ones to like play short or introduce the change, but hey, it's Pep Guardiola.
100% in controlled possession of the ball to a 50-50 situation. Except for Pep, it was so much worse. because he had a problem that pushed him into a corner. His side was highly technical, but none of his forwards were aerially dominant. So that 50-50
Serie
was
A
more
because
a
of like they like to
20-80.
keep possession.
Barcelona were essentially throwing away the ball.
Yeah.
Fue en su despacho, en el Camp Nou, delante de una pizarra y tenía puesto en la pizarra dos fichas y las dos fichas estaban en las líneas de fondo al final,
Pep is
al
the
lado
one
de
who
mi
started
portería.
this.
Me dijo, ¿sabes qué son esos jugadores? Yo le dije, no. Me dijo, son los centrales. Yo me quedé así, no sabía de lo que me estaba hablando, la verdad, me sonaba chino.
The solution
He said
was actually
Chinese.
not pushing players forwards, but rather drawing them back, with the centre-back splitting either side of the box to receive the ball and begin the play, and the defensive midfielder moving deep as well.
That's how I
to
do on
receive.
FIFA.
The short pass now allowed the ball that was
Bro.
in 100% possession.
I'm just looking at this so crazily, like just spamming deep balls. On FIFA, I don't even want to do that because I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up possession. Nobody spam the little long goal kicks on FIFA unless it's like the end of the game and they know the whistle finna blow. That's how crazy the game has changed in such a fast time.
To remain in 100% possession. And slowly this approach spread like wildfire across Europe. By the mid-2010s, the very best teams were rarely interested in the gamble of the long ball. But here's the problem with revolutions. Everyone eventually catches up. Defensive teams began taking more and more initiative higher up in the press. The sides in possession had to drop more and more players deep. One pivot became two. The fullbacks also had to remain deep, and so on. The opponent knew the ball had to go to one of just a few options, and slowly the build-up had to become increasingly convoluted and risky. And then came
the plot twist.
There have been very few rule changes in football that have fundamentally changed the tactical landscape. The change in the offside rule in 1925, the outlawing of the back pass,
To Sherrick
the
in the
change
building.
from a win being 2 points to being 3, the introduction of substitutions.
So the offside change in 1925 allowed attacking teams to take more risk, of course. The outlawing of the back pass made high pressures more effective. What year was that? The change from a win being 2 points to wins used to be 2 points. Yeah. The introduction of substitutions, and then it's crazy. Subs wasn't always a thing in the game. If you was in the game, you stuck, nigga. Unless somebody get hurt. And most recently, like, you know, the subs, because of COVID, the subs going from 3 to 5. The fact that y'all looked at 3 subs and thought that was just cool, 3 never should have been enough subs. 5 is good.
All of
5
these
is that
rule
sweet
changes,
spot.
even before a ball was kicked, were very obviously massive shifts in how the game would be played. 2019 changed things. But before we take a look how, if you're interested in this depth of tactical analysis and want to learn how to do it yourself, check out Tactics 12 through the link down below,
Hey,
which
go
teaches
to
you
the link,
basics
Tactics
for
12,
absolutely
football
free.
made
When
simple.
in 2019, IFAB announced that from that moment onwards, defenders no longer had to be outside of the box to receive the goal
They
kick.
could be
In most
inside.
circles, it was greeted with a shrug of the shoulders. But the most innovative managers were licking their lips. Arsene Wenger would go on to comment that the rule was introduced to make the game faster, but even more than he had anticipated had changed. It had transformed goal kicks into a weapon, a strategic restart that had redefined the modern game. See, the nightmare for possession managers was that as teams got better and better at pressing, the first pass from the goal
Let's get
kick
Jacob out of here. See how hard it is to follow rules, YouTube chat?
became essentially impossible. The opposition would simply camp on the deepest players, and the most aggressive pressers were committing essentially their entire side into the opposition half. Sure,
Yeah.
some sides like Manchester City
So
had
they
a
leave
cheat
that
code of
counterattack
having a
open.
goalkeeper who could play over the press from the goal kick, but that was not an option for everyone. But the prospect of now having an extra 660 square meters available for build-up threatened to change the game. No longer could teams press every receiver ahead of time because the new rules had created a force field that guaranteed
then they
that the
can't-
first
yeah, of
pass
course.
would be received unchallenged.
Yeah, so they
and
can't
teams
go in the
quickly
box,
got to
duh.
experimenting with a variety of structures going in and out of style. But the
Unlocking all types of combinations and possibilities. As soon as that new rule changed, that nigga Pep Mons, like he said, he was licking his chops. He immediately went to the drawing board and got to drawing different tacticals and formations and different convolutions that you could go ahead and hit off of a simple goal kick, man. Damn.
two dominant shapes looked like this. Can you tell me the new advantages that this shape caused? Well, if the centre-back wasn't right alongside
what
the
is
new
it?
advantage in and out of style. But the two dominant shapes looked like this. Can you tell me the new advantages that this shape caused?
The new advantages that this shape caused. Look, if you pass to your side, dude right here, the opposition is looking. They looking. Where can he go? He could go back to the keeper, and the keeper can go boom. So he could go boom, or the keeper can pass it back. So boom, boom, and then next thing you know, this dude looking, this guy, boom. Now he on the run. He can boom, lob that hold to this dude, or he could just dribble it out himself. You know, if dude pocket watching trying to see if he go pass it, boom, or boom, his defender like, damn, he trying to guard that. Now boom, now he out. He moving out. Then after he moving out, he take this dude, man, take it right here. Then now dude right here is boom, boom, boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see all of these new ways and convolutions that's unlocked. Come on now.
Well, if the centre back wasn't right alongside the goalkeeper, he essentially became a free man.
Free man,
who could
see?
create havoc
That's what I
and,
said.
more importantly, overloads. He could switch into the fullback position early, beginning a wide overload down the flanks, or even potentially freeing up a man to help create a central overload.
Ain't that what Bronco just said? That's basically what I just said, goddamn me.
Centre-back
Overload.
themselves could move into the midfield, helping to create the same central overload.
Yup.
A completely new paradigm had opened up by one simple shift. But this shape was and continues to be the most popular. But can you tell why?
Huh.
Teams beginning the goal.
This is most popular because of the fact that you got two untouchable dudes in the middle of the box that unlocks more central overload that you can do. You feel me? You pass it that left side, right dude go overload. Pass to the left side, or pass to the right side. Left dude go overload. Pass back to the keeper, overload. Overload. If everybody press up on the overloads, deep ball. You feel me?
Pick had been facing one big issue.
Number 5 is the ball.
Yup.
Receive this pressure.
Guess
Number
what?
3 is
He
pressure.
out.
Now we are playing, but the play is commanding from the opponent.
This phenomenon was even worse before the rule change, as the goalkeeper always had to commit to one side, and once they did, they essentially committed to building down that
they getting
flank,
smothered.
making them much easier to press, as long as the pass infield
Gegen
was
press,
prevented.
Liverpool.
But with both centre-backs here, something more fundamental than just being close to the goalkeeper had changed, because what do we see here? David Raya simply refuses to take the goal kick. The same happens here when Barcelona is forced to retake
Oh yeah,
the
that
goal
boy,
kick.
bro, this would scare the hell out of me. Imagine doing a goal kick as a keeper and then you just see the whole team just smothering you. I can't even breathe looking at this damn picture. I'm getting smothered and I ain't even there.
Twice in quick succession. On both occasions, they avoid having Ter Stegen being the one making the first pass. But why is that? Well, increasingly, the centre-backs were taking the goal kicks to counter the problem we have just discussed. This meant that the first pass was going to the most central man, meaning that even under pressure, the play could still begin either side, something which made build-up safer, but at the same time, more unpredictable. You might be asking, what if the opposition simply pressed like this, and locked in at least one of the thirds on the pitch? Well, a lot of teams actually did, and that put even more pressure
Arsenal.
on the goalkeeper. Having a ball-playing goalkeeper in your ranks was no longer an option. It was a must to be able to drive forward with the ball in these scenarios and pick out a pass higher up if it was available.
Oh,
See,
hey.
the biggest advantage of the rule change was now in their own half, the side beginning the play had a true 11 versus 10 advantage, but only if the goalkeeper was dangerous on the ball when in possession.
Yeah, I can't even handle getting pressed up on FIFA, bro. Like they be forcing you damn near to make the deep pass, and they gonna take it 95% of the chance.
Otherwise, the
time.
opposition would simply sit off and force the goalkeeper to try something spectacular, knowing he would give the ball away. Which brings us to where we find ourselves now.
Do harm.
Something was becoming increasingly clear. So many managers had the desire to control as much of the game as possible, but the truth is, once the ball is in open play, it's complete chaos. Corners and free kicks do offer a little more control, but there was still so much dependence on the quality of the delivery
Yeah.
and the physical matchups. The goal kicks, on the other hand, were a blank canvas. The one area where a manager
And that's where
truly
Pep.
had
Now this is where
100%
Pep licking his chops. You know, Pep wants to control every single aspect of the game. So men's like Pep, yeah, he say Armin, Polar Bear, in Arlington, Texas. Hey, come on now, they won the Super Bowl and they beat Liverpool the other day, man. Come on, get them they props.
It was the only time a manager could actually give
They
chess-like
season made.
instruction to his players and have them be executed as planned. And no manager understood this better than De Zerbi. The goal kick could be so much more than just a way to keep possession. It could be a way to hurt the opposition. But the first thing he had to conquer was that situation where the opposition picked up all the outfield players and let the goalkeeper hold on to the ball. And the answer came in 2 layers. De Zerbi knew that they had an extra man, but he didn't want the free man to be the goalkeeper. So the only way to free up someone else was to essentially force the opponent to press the goalkeeper. So, it became commonplace to see Brighton defenders and the goalkeeper putting their studs on the ball, both in open play and in goal kick situations. Simply put, this was the best way to lure opponents into the press, to create that free outfielder. This was called baiting the press. It wouldn't be long before this became commonplace in the league. But there was a second layer that made this even more devastating, as once again the answer was to go backwards in order to go forwards. So now instead of just having the centre-backs helping the goalkeeper, it was 2 pivots as well encroaching into the box, and this created an interesting recipe. The ball would go live, the studs would go on the ball, and the pivots would drop into the box to lure in even more men, with the forwards holding the halfway line, and this created a fascinating dynamic.
Now you out.
I mean, take a look at this scenario. What does this game situation look like? A counter-attack, which is one of the most deadliest attacking situations in football. But just a few seconds earlier, it was actually a harmless looking goal kick. De Zerbi had figured if he could draw as much of the opposition high as possible and somehow get the ball here, he would
out on a counter-attack
from a goal kick, an artificial transition. And how he tended to do this was through his pivots. The goalkeeper would draw a presser who was hoping to use his cover shadow to keep the pivot man occupied.
Damn, it's so much going on behind the scenes that my eye don't see.
But there was a knock-on effect. The demands on the range of passing and the composure in possession of goalkeepers had increased as they had to draw in players and make decisions in such small spaces. They had to be great short, but now they also needed medium range passing in case the opportunity to chip the ball into the midfield emerged. At the same time, they still needed the ultra-long goal kick in their arsenal in case the opposition defense was pushing high up and the chance to go over the top was on. The position that was once expected to just boot it long in a vague direction now had to have one of the best passing ranges on the pitch. The evolution was complete, and all of this theory was backed up by the numbers, as research by My Game Plan showed.
Shout out My Game Plan!
Long goal kicks, of course, had the highest percentage of getting into the final third in possession, but the chaos and lack of control meant that only 1% of those situations led to a shot on goal. Compare that to a short goal kick, which was
now
only
you can build up
worse
and
at getting into the final third, but it resulted in a shot 5 times more often. And if you want to take a look at 2 teams who take drawing the press using their goal kick to an extreme level, check out this video right here. And don't forget to check out
ain't no video pop up. Football made simple. Come on, baby, you're slacking.
And if you want to get started in tactical analysis yourself,
hey, shout out Football Made Simple. How the most boring part of football, he said goal kicks, long goal kicks were the most boring part, became the most important. The way you start with the ball after the ball goes out, yeah, for sure. It's like, damn, it's so much be going on behind the scenes that my eye just does not see. Man's like Pep Guardiola, like he said, impacted football in our decade more than any manager. This made me understand why defensive pivots and CBs have to be so good on the ball. Yeah, you got motherfuckers out there like goofballs like Kanate who ain't good at it either, goddamn it. Goddamn goofballs. Hey, how the most boring part of football becomes the most important. How about